Hello. It's Thursday. 'Tis Thursday. I was just having a really dizzy moment there because I knew I had 3 parcels, and I can see 2 of them, and for the life of me couldn't find the 3rd one, and that's because it's underneath this great big one that's down here. So I do actually have all 3, because I did go to the mail hut and the post box, well, what we call the mailbox, yes, and did that. So Janine is going to come and join me, she says. But that doesn't always mean that she doesn't get caught out time-wise. So I'm just going to press on ahead with the mail. And thank goodness, here's Jan Gerhold. Oh! Oh my golly. Oh my golly gosh. I am struggling with this. Here we go. Thank you very much, Jan. Right, here we have it. So, apparently Steve Martin, a day without sunshine is like, you know, night. Very well said, Mr. Martin. Hedy Lamar, any girl can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid. That's quite funny. Mitch Hedberg, my fake plants died because I didn't pretend to water them. That's good as well. Thank you. Right, I'm just... Oh. So this is just thanking Carleen for a donation that she made to a non-profit, which is lovely. So I'm going to keep that and send that into Carleen. Hello, I started. I got your seat ready.
Yeah, no, I'm still working.
What?
I'm still working.
Okay. Will I just continue?
Oh, yeah, just continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is from Gail in Maine.
Feeding dogs.
Feeding dogs. Well, that's a good thing if you're a dog.
So, okay.
Oh my goodness, said Janine.
You didn't hear that.
Honestly.
There's no scoop.
Oh, right. Okay, hold on a second. So this is from Gail. It says, think positive and good things are sure to happen. Dinner time at the ranch. And this is so, and good things are sure to happen. And this is so true of Goldy's farm. Thank you for all for what you do to the community of seniors and veterans and rescues. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Encloses a cheque to cover the cost of t-shirt and extra shipping. My payment was refunded to my credit card. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave that in the secure pile. You have to be Judy when Judy's not here, Janine.
Oh, I'm feeding everybody right now.
Oh.
Right now, I've got to go up and bring the goats in.
You're not being me.
What?
You're not being me.
How could I be?
How could you? I know. You wouldn't want to.
Does Woody need water? Is he staying in there tonight?
No, I only put him in there because he was having his medication in peace and quiet.
Okay.
So I was just going to
water.
open the door.
Okay, good.
He's good to go.
All right, just stay. I'm on schedule.
Okay, I've got a whole pile of mail for you and your mummy.
Oh, you like Joe and stuff?
No, I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's stuff that comes out. It doesn't have Goldies on it.
Okay.
Look, there's a letter for you for Equine Rescue. I don't know if you want to open that.
Oh,
Where is it?
It's all this.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Oh, no.
You have to be very poor bags.
Yeah, well, I don't want to speak to that.
That's not
Why would we want that? This is from Kentucky. Kentucky. That cows in Maryland, is that right?
What? No, Kentucky's not in Maryland.
No, that cow.
The cow, yes.
Our cow.
Yes, this is tax bills.
Oh.
Tax bills.
Oh,
What?
thank you very much. This is from Anne. in Kentucky. She said, "You have all truly hit the ground running. Your accomplishments to date are impressive. I look forward to Carlene's return." Thank you, Anne. We all do. And she's sent a donation check in as well. That is very kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank God for that. And every other donation we get. We are...
This is the 19th of December written on the postmark. We're doing well. Things are appearing out of the ether.
Okay, let's leave this pile for me.
I shall.
We did a job today with the 4 dogs, and they were all fantastic.
Yes, and they were dogs, by the way.
Dogs. Oh, shit, I forgot to... Oh, sugar.
Oh, my goodness, said Janine.
Oh, my goodness. I forgot to correct my typo.
Beautiful, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
That's very pretty.
Who put the butterfly in the back of the car?
Me.
The butterfly sticker?
Yeah.
How long has it been there?
It's been there. Well, Sam made it for us, sent it in. There's one in the fridge and there's one in the back of the car. And it's been there for about 6 months.
I just noticed it today. Yes, lovely.
She bedazzled it.
The car's been
I think it's diamond dots.
Okay, so they're watered. The dogs are good for right now. I'm just going to bring the goats in
Perfect.
and get the doggies water.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Debbie. That was very kind of you. Oh my gosh, no, this one came in the 10th of December. Oh, honestly, this is from Victoria in Arizona. It's got a lovely Santa on the front. I tell you, I have absolutely no idea. Oh gosh. Thank you very much, Victoria. There's a donation check in there as well. And she said it has been a rough year for the causes you support. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Victoria. I honestly don't know where half of these things are springing up from. And then, this is from the Topsfield Fair. It's a calendar. Oh! Has a bunny. It's not as handsome as our bunnies. Ooh, I love these. Like, to draft horses. Ooh, got cows in it as well. This is really nice, actually. I think I shall commandeer this for the headquarters. Splendid, splendid. There we go. Better hold on to that in case there's anything we need to do with that. That is like lovely. Now, I have one parcel here, and this is from Martha, and I think it's from me. Oh, thank you, Martha. I'm going to shake this table. Not to be trusted. Not to be trusted. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Martha. This is, because we're back on this again, Quest Plus. 3 phenomenal tubes of Quest Plus, thank you. And look at this. Hold on 1 second. Ooh. Oh, this is great. These are, I call them buffs for around your neck. Oh, it's lovely. It's fleecy lined. Look, for going round your neck. And these are actually really super because my neck always gets really cold. But I don't have a very good track record with scarves because I lose them places. Thank you. So there's a black one, there's a grey, there's blue and pink. So that gives everybody a choice. Thank you very much. Those will be super well used. Right, okay. I have no idea who this is, but it says the Queen of the House, and it's not Carlene, because it's coming to Wanda. I can only think of one person that would have called Wanda the Queen of the House. And it isn't Carlene. Right, let's have a look and see. Wanda will not mind if I open her package for her, because she's good like that. She's a nice girl. Popcorn. Oh, I can only say this is caramel flavoured, and I certainly hope that Wanda shares that with Carleen and Janine. Otherwise, there could be upset. And that is butter popcorn. I'm going to show you this. 2 enormous boxes of popcorn just for Wanda. And here is the sneaky box that I couldn't find earlier. It was underneath the enormous popcorn box. Now this has Carleen's name on it and Goldy's farm, so I'm going to open it on her behalf because we can't take packaging in for whatever reason. Now, oh my gosh, it's cookies. It doesn't say who it's from though. Oh wow. There's a whole load of cookies in bubble wrap. Oh my goodness. Look. Even more cookies. Oh, I know what these ones are. Look. The cookies just keep coming. Oh, actually, excuse me for being a silly Billy. I think it tells us on the back. Those cookies. So, what it doesn't say, though, is who sent them. My gosh, there's lots and lots of cookies. Let me just double check. They came from Grandma's Cookies. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a sender's name. No. Right. That will be another box that we'll need to take into Carleen. She will be absolutely delighted because she is complaining about the food. Okie dokie. So, I better tell you what happened today. So, today has, you know, it's been nothing monumental, but I can tell you it's just busy, busy. Janine went to do a job this morning and that went very well. Then we had the vet on Meredith Farm doing a pre-purchase inspection for one of the horses that we quarantined and is now fully clean and ready to go to its new home. So Dr. Park came down to do a pre-purchase for that and also take blood for a Coggins certificate and a health certificate for our mule Aston Martin, because he will, I think it's next week, he'll be travelling up to New Hampshire to go to his new home. And that's actually very good news, because that means that our mare can now go into a paddock without him. Because if you put Sunshine or Janine calls her Sunshine, everybody else calls her Brandy. So if you put Sunshine stroke Brandy into a paddock, and Aston Martin is beside himself if he's not with her. And if he is with her and there's any other animals in there, woe betide them if they get anywhere near Sunshine stroke Brandy, because he just loses the plot. He is so protective of that mare that it is very difficult to accommodate her in a paddock that it even shares a fence line with any other living being. He's very nice to handle. He's quirky, he's good fun, he's quite an affectionate little soul, until you bring in something that's in competition, normally with 4 legs, fortunately. So he is going up to Phyllis in New Hampshire at Hidden Pond, and he will be living with a herd of elderly ladies, which will suit him no end, because there will be 4 of them for him to keep under control and make sure things are a-okay in the paddock. So that's fantastic. And then I quite excitingly did evening chores before coming home. So my evening is quite free for a change. I think I might have to go to the supermarket. Oh, bah humbug. So that's good progress. That means, again, that we're getting down in numbers. My active quarantine that are living in the bee barn on Meredith are doing very nicely. They're all quite perky and they're munching their way through hay like nobody's business. It seems to be all that they do. They stand all day and eat and eat and eat, which is not a bad thing because I do have two who, well, in fact, I would suggest that all three are not at optimum weight. Two of them are particularly not very good. So that's the best thing for them to possibly be able to do is just sit and munch. But what's nice is their eyes are clearer, their demeanour is far better, they're far more interactive, and it's nice to see because they had a touch of pneumonia, and you always worry in case it ends up being double pneumonia, and then you've got a bit of a problem. So that's working out really very nicely. They will be with us until February 21st. The vet was just telling me that there is actually active disease in the area, so we're obviously going to be very careful that nobody comes in off or roundabout, and that's good. So that's progress. And are you here today? Oh, there's Cecil. We love
I gotta do the rabbits, so they have to stay in.
the bunny wunny rabbits.
Okay.
Are you cold in here?
I know, I'm just turning you up. I'm going out to dinner and I should...
Oh, you're going out to dinner? Oh.
I'll get
You
back.
have a lovely dinner this evening,
Yes.
don't you?
You can do that.
Yes, and then you can...
It'll be warm while
But
I'm
they'll be
gone.
warm while you're away. So they won't miss your warm embrace.
Yeah, make sure there's nothing for Larky.
Yes. Oh, look. Janine, there's a whole pile of cookies to go into your mummy. And popcorn for Wanda. So Wanda has caramel popcorn and butter popcorn. It's the most luxurious looking popcorn I've seen.
Alright, well, I'm going to see my mother tomorrow morning, so I will take one thing of cookies
And then we'll keep them going in.
and one...
And there's butter on the other side. That's caramel. And then there's butter on the other side.
That should keep her busy for a little while.
Should keep
All
her
right.
busy.
Make sure there's nothing for Larky to eat. Okay.
Yes.
See you later tonight.
Yes, I will. See you later. Okay, so where was I? So they're doing really well, these quarantine, and it's nice. And I think that we own one of them, which is the Draft Cross, and she's the poor little soul because while she's probably bigger and wider, this is the one with one eye. While she's probably bigger and wider than the other two, they don't let her into the food, and it's horrible because when you turn up, it's a barn with a big sliding barn door, and the opening to the barn is at one side, and the whole barn is, you know, this sort of length. Her backside is always hanging outside the barn because they only let her put her head and her front legs in. So, hello, my darling. So, that's not so nice. So but she's doing well, and she's coming around because she was a bit scared when she first came in, but she's getting used to her environment, and she's getting used to me going in and out, so that's nice. And the dogs are doing well. The barn is doing well. What are you doing? Penny's cleaning up any lost dog food. I have got my lovely Sizzy. Sis. There she is. She's my big buddy. She's here as well. And Nick and I were just going round today with Janine, and we were looking at what cabling that we'll need to put cameras into the positions. So, at the moment, the camera positions are one outside the G tent. Now, the one on the G tent used to be in the corner. I think we might put it in the middle position just over the door opening. because that gives a good amount of spin that will allow you to see up the drive should we need it, over the front of Carlene's White House, and down into the courtyard area, but also over towards where the rabbits are. So that gives you a good radius of visibility. The other place we're popping them in, obviously, is into the arena. Nick was just checking today that the camera should be, the microphone should be strong enough to pick up whatever Wallace is saying, because it's quite interesting listening to him training. And he very often, if Janine and I or Kate are there, he gives us a running commentary on what he's developing, how it's going, and there's just lots of good information comes out of it. Now, we're putting on the outside, and we've got to get a swivel arm for this, on the outside of where what was, let me think about this, it used to be, was it Puppy Hill? I think it used to be Puppy Hill, because we're putting the goats into that side of the barn with the zebus and with some of the donkeys. So we want it to be able to, the camera to be able to swivel in at night time when the animals are inside, and then swivel outside so you can see them out and about on Puppy Hill. And then the next area we're going to have the camera, so that's me got 3 cameras so far. We're going to have one, we think, on the outside of this building at that end down there. Boom, 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 boom. Where's my finger going? That end down there. Because that would allow you to look over onto the donkeys, and then the camera can stay inside. That camera, I'm not 100% sure that that's where we'll eventually end up with it, but it might just be a camera that we choose to move round about. The last and final place is we're going to put a camera in here. And one of the things I noticed when Service Dog had their camera in here, I think it was up in a corner somewhere. I'm not sure which corner. Maybe it was that corner. But I think what we'll do is, instead of having it way up high, I think if it was at this level here, it gives you a far better view of what goes on in here, and also it gives you a less, when it's up high looking down, it doesn't really give you a sense of perspective, so I think that might be a more realistic perspective. And if we got it on an arm on this side of the wall, it should be able to swing in to look into the kennels on the other side. And what we're hoping to do is bring down our 4 cockatiels and pop them in there. They have a very large aviary. It's actually a cattery, believe it or not. And bring them down in their aviary. So we are going to, we feel if we've got the cockatiels in here, that what that will do is it will allow for us to have something to see, which should be better than having to look at me, Janine, or whoever else happens to be in the HQ side of things. Because let's face it, these dogs are going back into the White House with Carlene, so this won't be used for Carlene's dogs. Hello, my little flower. Here's my love. So that would give us something that's more interesting than watching Janine or I, let's face it, especially if I'm struggling on the computer, because there's nothing more frustrating than having to look at that, I can tell you. So that's the plan so far, and little disclaimer I should really put out is that best laid plans always get changed. So there, that's the way we rock and roll. We think of a really good idea, then we come up with something that's even better. So we're going to work with that. So I am going to go and try, excuse me, got a runny nose now. I am going to try and go back and see if I can find these questions, because you know how bad I am at this. Right, thank you, Larky, that's lovely. So if you've got questions, you need to pop them in, because I'm scrolling through slowly. I do need the envelope opener. I went and got the the tripod that Joe sent, because I was having so many fights with that other one. So I forgot to bring the letter opener while I was at it. So I do need to go and grab it. But before I bring the letter opener down, I actually want to put, we will have a desk with drawers in it. So there's two banks of drawers coming down, and the desk part will just go over the top. And I would really quite like to have the desk part here before I bring down pointy things, because I don't like pointy things going missing. I hear you. What you doing? Oh, no cookies for you. You're so naughty. Your mummy would not be happy with you if you ate her cookies. No, go away. Honestly. Oh. Which dog is with me? They're all with me. All three. Watch it. You're just being a pest. No. Go lie down with Larky. I have all three of the house dogs. Oh look, and I am messing things up. I'm pressing buttons I shouldn't be. I do not know. I will ask Janine and she will contact you with a number of people that she saw. No. Those are Wanda's. Big trouble. Good afternoon, Gary. Gary has lots of our horses and he is an absolutely phenomenal home. And he is the very special grandfather of our very special Miss O. So there. Off you go, little monkey. It was, you know, there's not a lot of change, but there's a lot of subtle change. So thank you, Hilda. And we just wanted to keep you involved as to what we were getting up to. There's a lot of things that are going to take time. Janine reckons that each door, front and grill, the metal grills are going to take at least an hour each for the first coat, and we need to do 2 coats of paint on them. So that's probably about an hour and a half per door. So we're working up what we're going to have to be putting out time-wise. There's lots of changes. It's just slow, steady, and we're getting on with things, and it's coming into. Sometimes I find that you start with a plan, and then once you start using things, you realise it doesn't work out for you. So you move things along a bit, and that's really what we're doing at the moment. It's the suck it and see approach, actually. Not to be too technical about it. Oh, you see, now, Marilyn, the interesting thing is I started trying to put a date in today as to when we started this process for coming to the States. And I keep telling everybody, don't rely on me for numbers. I have dyscalculia, which means I have number dyslexia. And from that point of view, I am the most unreliable person with numbers. I have to write them down. I have to refer to them, and otherwise I just muddle them up. So it's I don't know, over 10 years. I think it might be 14. Could be 15. Don't know. Quite a while though. Unlikely for Wanda to share. Wanda is exceptionally good at taking things and hiding them, Brittany. There will be no sharing with Wanda. Wanda is your queen, Roger. And thank you very much for sending them in for her. Yes, poop, that's us. And that's lovely to see Bella with our Miss Penny. She's like, Larky, was that you? No, that's Sizzle in the middle. Look at the pair of them. The trio of them. Forget the pair of them. Yeah, Larky's gone to sleep. Penny's not looking very sleepy though. I think Bella answered her how Ziti was doing. Oh, the water's in the back. It's in buckets. It is in buckets. And Bella says she's good. Thank you, Bella. Oh, and she's been training her. Excellent. Yeah, Wallace is super to watch training. It's very entertaining. And I think what we're potentially going to do is we're going to bring over one of the quarantine horse that we have, the Draft Cross mare with the cataract in one eye. I think we're going to bring her over. She'll be out of quarantine February 21st at the latest. And then we will bring her, we might actually be able to bring her slightly earlier than that. We'll bring her over and we will have 2 horses on the property because you can't have horses, donkeys, mules, etc. by themselves. So we'll have 2 horses on the property, and I would like to work with this female, this mare that we have, because just to get used to how she reacts to only having one eye in use. I was concerned because when she first came into quarantine, there's damage around her eye in the ocular bone. It's been bashed and there's a lot of skin missing from it. And I had wondered whether or not it was a new damage to the eye and loss of sight, because sometimes when they have sometimes it's an infection, sometimes it's something that's permeated the lens area, and I felt she behaved very much like she was newly lacking vision in that eye, because she was bashing into doors and was generally very clumsy. But Dr. Parrott said that it's a cataract. It's been growing for some period of time. The only thing we can really do at the moment is probably remove the eye. But the eye itself is intact, it's healthy. And there's no point removing something that could potentially last there for quite some period of time, because as soon as you remove something, you've opened up a space that isn't normally open to the air, etc., etc., and it has to be, the eye would be sewn up. You do have the opportunity to put in a prosthetic eye, which obviously doesn't give you any vision, but it just holds the area in the same shape that it would have been had there been a healthy eyeball in there. But there's also always a difficulty with that, in that you can get something that slips behind because it's not attached with the optic nerve, it's not attached with all the tendons, and something you can get debris and things, etc., slipping behind it, and it's not always a reliable source. So we would just sew the eye up. So as long as that eyeball is healthy and it's not causing her any trouble, I think we will just leave it there. It's holding the place quite nicely. But I would like to work with her in the arena just to see how we respond to stimulus on both sides of her body, and with voice control and commands, etc., just to keep her safe. So that will be super duper doodah fun. I probably could actually, because I'm actually updating the computer files at the moment. Well, when I say that, Brittany's helping me, because quite frankly, it's beyond me. Everything I've got is on paper, written in my own fair hand. So yes, I do. And we also have a record because we need it for the state. So I probably could at the moment let you know what we've got. If I remember, that is. I'm not very good at remembering. Oh, I think you're going to have plenty of opportunity to watch the dogs. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Well, thank you very much, Karen. Carlene's desk is still in the cabin. That's where it is. And I would expect that what we would do with Carlene's desk is just bring it down and transfer it into the White House, because she will still have her own computer, because she needs it to write her daily doggy. So the computer that I have in here, which I can't work at the moment for whatever reason, I'm sure it's a computer problem, not a me problem. This will be the one that is used for all the administration for the farms and for the animals and all the other bits and pieces, and Carlene will have her constant contact back, and her email and everything will go on that computer, so she will be back up and at it, which is super. Oh yeah, Penny's full of absolute nonsense. You know, it doesn't bother us. We just wander on with it. She's I think it bothers Sizzle sometimes because she's a bit too enthusiastic, but she's learning all the time, and she's a lovely puppy. I think there is actually a lot of progress in 15 days. The problem is, you see, when you're living here and you're thinking, now I've got to go and get that done. You've got the whole list of things that needs done, and you think, oh, I really must get going. And we're under a lot of time pressure to try and get Carlene here as comfortably as possible, because it's moving fast, and there's a lot to do. I think you forget, because you don't take breath, and you forget that you're actually doing quite nicely, and that there's a lot of things that you have managed to achieve. We've got, you know, the animals are still being maintained. We've got quarantine being maintained, which takes a lot of time and really knocks somebody down. And in fact, if you could have seen me today doing the quarantines, I had plastic shopping bags on my feet. This is so high tech, because I have only got a certain number of pairs of barn shoes, and I have to sterilize them. My bleach solution that I normally do a dip with my shoes coming out of the barn is totally frozen, as is my my sterilizing spray. Everything that's in the barn, the bee barn, which is the quarantine barn, is frozen. It's absolutely solid. So I'm thinking about ways around trying to keep things from transferring over, because you really, that's why that barn's always done last, and I'm the dedicated person for that barn. It's so important to keep things clean, tidy and sterile, and it's giving me the heebie-jeebies because I don't have my bleach. And my bleach and my chlorhexidine, which I normally, the chlorhexidine I normally sort of like, you know, people spray their perfume into the air. Well, I spray it all over myself and then walk through it, and then I spray my jackets, my gloves, my this, that and the other, and then I bring them home and wash them. So it's, yes, it's a bit disconcerting not having my foot dip, but we shall get there. I have not heard anything recently about Miss Betty Not So White, but I have absolutely no concerns, because she's in the most phenomenal home, and the lady who has her is just absolutely splendid. But I'm sure she always updates me when there's something exciting happening, so I'm sure she will reach out and let me know. And if I see her, because she is around about in the local area, I will make sure to ask her. Penny and Ziti need a play date. Well, you come on down here, because that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think Penny would love it, and I think Ziti might enjoy it. And I would love to meet you as well, Bella, because I don't think I've ever met you. So that would be nice. Woody is doing fine. He is still on medication, and he's still on painkillers. And that's, I think, something that we'll just maintain until we're 100% sure we're over the chance of any infection. I think he is thoroughly enjoying having his medication in sweet goat feed. That's all I can say. He's on SMZ antibiotics, and they come in tablets that are about that size. They're chalky, they're white, and they don't taste particularly pleasant. And what we very often have to do to get the animals to take them is we have these enormous comedy syringes, and you put however number of SMZs into the syringe, put your finger over the end, put water in it, partially put in the stopper, shake it around until it's this nasty suspension. Tip it up on that end, get the bubble, you know, the air bubble out, and you take their head, pop it back, in through the side, down the back, squish it in, and you stand there going like that so that they hopefully swallow it. Some animals swallow it, sometimes you end up wearing it. Wearing it is quite common. Woody, on the other hand, I put his SMZs in this sweet feed with the Butte painkiller, and he just gobbles it all down. He is a totally and utterly not a discerning diner in any way, shape or form. I'm like, this is the easiest animal I've ever had to medicate. And I think he quite likes his blanket while he's at it. And he is healing, but I went in to check him today, and he tried to kick at me. So I need to get Janine at the front to hold a leg off the ground so that he doesn't manage to hit me. So I'm hoping to get in there. Carlene is doing fine. She was, she phoned me this morning to give me an update on what she was up to. And she's doing very well. She then sent me a picture of her lunch, and she wasn't impressed. So she's on it. And she's, we're hoping she's coming back pretty soon. I think she is. So I think her COVID is just about, she's out of the woods there, very definitely keeping going. But she said, she started trying to tell me this morning, it was quite funny, I'd phoned her earlier on this morning to let her know about something. And she said to me, you know, I missed your call. I must have been busy. I said, yes, you were busy sleeping. And she said, no, that wasn't it. I was probably busy. I said, no, you missed my call. I said, because you were sleeping. And she went, how would you know that? I said, because Janine dropped your coffee off. And when she brought your coffee in, you were sleeping. So I think she's ready to come home and get at it, which is super. Well, that's why it's going into her room, because we can't get rid of Goldy's desk. I think I learned about horses and donkeys and animals because I'm quite a voracious reader, and while reading is one thing, hands-on experience is a heck of a lot more. And I spent a long time when I was very young around about horses, because that's what I really absolutely adored. And instead of those blinking ballet lessons, bah humbug, and piano lessons, even worse. Not a very expressive arts person, I wouldn't say, but I spent so much time on a farm and horse riding. But I loved mucking. I loved watching the farrier work, and I think it probably just developed from there. And obviously I was, really pretty young, but I had a wonderful riding instructor called Marjorie, and Marjorie was very old school, and I learnt to ride on her very old horse, and she was super because she explained everything I was doing wrong. The animals always came first, and at her riding school you did not turn up looking pretty and mount your steed. You turned up suitably attired for the Scottish weather, let's face it. You trudged all the way down to the field, slipped down the muddy hill, caught your horse, and if you were lucky it wasn't a naughty pony, and walked all the way up the hill, out the gate, down the farm track, into the stable yard. And once in the stable yard, you then got your brushes out, and you made sure that your pony was clean, feet were immaculate, and you were ready to go before you even vaguely considered tacking that animal up. And then once under saddle, you went out, you were on the moors, you went to the old disused railway track because it was flat and you could just storm up and down that undersat on your horse, flat out, as fast as you could possibly go. And it was fantastic. And I think that's really what that I learned from this lady who used to shout instructions at me from her car. And she was just wonderful. And for such a pain in the backside small child, I used to ask her all these questions. I've read this. Is this true? And she was exceptionally patient with me and answered all my blinking questions. And from that point of view, I think that was probably the best introduction you could possibly have to animals. So that's stayed with me throughout my life. And even when I wasn't involved with horses, mules, donkeys, or anything else, I still read about them and kept up to date with what was happening. And I think it's just something that's steeped in my pores for whatever reason. And you know, it's like some people really appreciate the arts. Some people really appreciate motor racing. It's probably one of those passions in life. So I'm very fortunate, and I'm aware just how fortunate I am to be here in a position that allows me to have so much contact with all sorts of animals in all stages of their life. So that's very much appreciated. Yep, those plastic bags are, I know they're not good for the environment, but they're very useful. Although, I will tell you, I was so careful when I was walking with them on my feet because I put the plastic bags over my shoes to keep my barn boots clean, okay? And I may have double bagged my feet just in case. So as I'm walking with plastic bags on my feet, on the snow and ice, in the paddock, I'm thinking, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to slip and fall, slip and fall, slip and fall. But I also knew I had to be extremely careful that I didn't burst the bags that were on my feet, because otherwise there was no point in me having them on in the first place if they leaked. So I got back, I sat down in the car with my feet outside the car, and then I realised I'm so stiff I couldn't bend down to take the bags off my feet. That was embarrassing, but I got there eventually after lots of huffing and puffing, I can tell you. I'm going to have to work on this nonsense, otherwise Carlina's going to ask me to touch my feet, my toes, and then have a giggle because I can't, and she can get what is it, her big toe round the back of her ear or something. I don't know. Anyway, not very flexible at this precise moment in time. No, Janine's going out for dinner, so she'll come and grab them later on. I think that's the arrangement, she said. I can. I put a picture on Facebook of the pair of little stinkers. You can see that there. Right, Delight she's doing very well. And could it possibly be Wilbur we're talking about with severe hoof issues? Because he was the little chap. He's a little white pony with the spots on his bot. He's an absolute sweetheart. He and Delight are actually the same age. They're both 19. So she very often hangs out with him. And Wilbur's doing really very well. When Dr. Parrott saw him the last time, he said there'd been a marked improvement and he was really pleased. So I'm delighted, and because he's a very affectionate little soul. So the farrier was here in between Christmas and New Year. In fact, was it even the 31st he was here? Could have been the 31st, and he trimmed his feet. So he's on a programme, and we'll just keep that going. Do I get any chance to do any riding these days? Sort of. I am now at a stage where I used to be totally and utterly fearless with horses, and I would jump over anything I could get my hands on, and had no fear of falling off. That has left me in my older age, and I'm now very aware of my own fragility, shall we say, and given the fact that I can't bend over and get the polythene bags off my blinking barn boots, you can understand just what a challenge it is for me getting on the horse. So much so that the last time I was riding Clancy, and Kate was trialling a saddle. So she just left a saddle she was trialling on Clancy, and I said to her, "Is everything ready to go? As in, because you've just come off him, I'm ready to get on, and all safety checks are done." She was like, yeah. And so I went, and through my own error, I did not check how tight the girth was. Put my foot in the saddle. I was standing on the rock, the mounting rock, let's face it, because I can't get on from the ground any longer. And he was a really tall horse. And I started my ascent, realised that Kate likes to ride on a really slack girth. The saddle slid round the horse, and I fell on my bahookie on the rock. Clancy turned round and looked at me as if to say, "What on earth are you doing down there?" And I was like, "I can't believe that. Thank goodness I've got padding." So, yes, I was riding about once a week, and I don't have anything to ride at the moment, because I used to ride Ted, the big mule, but Ted doesn't like riding. He says none of that nonsense any longer. So he's decided that he's not going to be a riding mule. So I'm kind of horseless, which doesn't bother me because I just like being round about them. So anyway, we'll get there. Something will turn up. Oh, I can tell you about Nick when we met in horses. Wait for this one. This is another stunner. So when way back when we met, I said, you know, the one thing that I really want to do is I want to get back into horse riding and blah 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 blah. And he said, yeah, that would be great. So I took him to the barn that I used to ride at, and Marjorie McNichol had sadly passed away, etc. And her daughter was running the barn, and it was actually really lovely, because when we went there, she said, "I know who you are," and I was like, "I've never met you in my life." I was like, "Oh right," and she went, "I know who you are. My mother wrote about you all through her diaries. I know all about you." I was like, "Oh my God." And she said, "My mother loved you." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's nice to know. Thank you so very much." So Nick and I started riding, I think, once a week or so. And I thought, this is fantastic. This is really going places. I love this man. Not only can he cook, he also wants to start horse riding. I can see great things happening here. Great things. So we started horse riding, and this was great. Super duper doodah. And then we got engaged, and then he stopped horse riding. And then after we got married, he sort of like explained that he didn't really like horse riding. He was just doing it because he's super lovely. So no, he doesn't horse ride. But he does come and help with barn chores, which is an enormous help and very gratefully appreciated, because quite frankly, I at this precise moment in time are not particularly fit and able for barn chores. So he certainly plays a part on the farms, but I don't think we'll ever get him under horse again, ever, on horseback. Yeah, they are a bit slippery, but then again, you know, they do protect your boots. Julie, Leslie and Brittany are wonderful with the herds. It's a phenomenal team, and it's just really nice to have that ticking over and that level of care. So that's absolutely fantastic, and we're very grateful that they all turn up and do their thing. Oh, the donkey that she was asking about, that's Gertie. Gertie is Woody's mother. And Woody's mother, she's hanging on in there. There's not much we can do for her feet. The farrier can't trim them. So we're just We're keeping her comfortable. We're making sure she's okay. But she's, you know, she's fully interactive at the moment, and we can only monitor her comfort level and her level of interaction, because when they become sore, they become depressed, and then you know that it's really time to help them on their way. So that's what we're looking for there. Nick is a keeper, and I'm very grateful for him. There we are. I think I've answered everything. And it's not a case of I don't answer questions. It's a case of sometimes they go all out of sync and it gets a bit messy. Don't ask me, but it's a technology problem or question that somebody else could probably answer. But I do try and just scroll through them. So tomorrow is Friday. I think there's something happening tomorrow. Can't for the life of me remember what it is. But we shall get there. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.